If you own a convertible car, it's great to get the roof down in the summer, but as your car gets older, so does the hood. And you'll find that sometimes the colour starts to fade, especially if it's a coloured roof to start with. Also, if you run your car in the winter, you might find that it stays damp for too long, and you start getting these kind of horrible stains and green algae that grows on parts of the roof. Once this stuff takes hold, it can be really stubborn to actually remove. And as well as looking unsightly, you'll find that the roof will lose its ability to repel water and actually becomes quite porous. This then allows moisture to travel through the roof and its protective underlayer and actually start to get onto the mechanism of the actual hood itself. If your hood is electric, then it's even worse because this can attack micro switches actually embedded in the hood. You can of course recolour your hood, which actually looks quite good, but it's best to try and prevent this fade and damage in the first place. Just bear in mind that a new hood is a considerable cost on a car. On my Volvo C70, a new hood would set me back about £1,500, and that's before you include the fitting charge as well, so it's a serious wedge of money. So in the long run it pays to do some regular care and maintenance on your hood. For about £20, Autoglem do a complete fabric hood cleaning kit. It's a lead seller and it comes with pretty much everything you need, including a wash, a sponge and a waterproof agent. Maybe the disadvantage is you only get 500 millilitres of waterproofing agent, so it might only do one application on a large roof. There are cheaper waterproofers on the market, and the one that comes highest recommended in the camping industry is Fabsil. It's been around for years and always seems to get good reviews. It's also available as an aerosol spray or just liquid in a can. So this is the product that I decided to use. Now a 600mm can of Fabsil is going to cost you around about £9. Just be aware that you're going to need quite a few of these cans to do a large roof. If you want to buy it in liquid form, then a 1 litre can will cost you about £11. Moving up to the 2.5 litre size can is around £15. If you really fancy spraying it on, for £1 more on eBay I found you can actually buy a can with an applicator. And finally, the big daddy of the pack, for £25 you can get a gallon 5 litre can, which is the most economical way of buying it. But whatever size you decide to use, the product works really well. But before you get started, the first thing you need to do is thoroughly clean your roof. I just use a normal car wash and a sponge. If you have any green algae, then it's probably best if you use a soft brush. You really want to give it a good wash. Once washed, you do need to let the hood completely dry before you can apply any waterproofing agent. So here's the 2.5 litre can that I purchased. Now I find that I've got quite a large roof on the Volvo, but I can get 4 applications out of this one can, which works out just over £4 an application. I tend to do my hood twice a year, though the can will last me 2 years. So as you can see, it's really good value. So other than the Fabsil itself, all you need is something sturdy to stand on, just a plastic pot and a new brush. Now application is its simplicity itself. Just load up the brush with Fabsil, which has the consistency of water, and just paint it on your hood. Now the good thing of using a paintbrush is that the Fabsil soaks right into the hood. It's best not to do too large a section in one go because you need to apply this product wet on wet. You don't want it drying out halfway through the process. So I sort of tend to do it in strips, starting at the front and sort of work down, making sure that the hood gets pretty sort of like nicely soaked. It's a good idea to really sort of work the brush into the seams and joins on the hood to make sure you get plenty of product in there. And also if you've got any areas that get creased when the hood is actually retracted into its storage compartment, once again these areas probably would benefit from a really nice kind of like soaking of Fabsil. I guess if you prefer you could use a spray bottle really. For me I prefer to use a brush. I think I can get more of the product actually into the hood and there's less waste, especially if it's windy. So it just works well for me. Now it's quite important the kind of day you do this on. You want to do this on a fairly warm day, probably about 20 degrees centigrade plus. You don't want to do it in direct sunshine because the product will dry out. So you're looking for kind of a warm, overcast day ideally, pretty much like what I've got here. Now one property of Fabsil that I really like is that it just naturally darkens the colour of your hood. And you can see this here. This area here, this is where I actually parked under a tree a couple of weeks ago that was in pollen and had all this really nasty yellow pollen fall on the hood. and it doesn't matter how much you wash it, it's really difficult to get out. But as you can see, as you apply the Fab Seal, it completely removes all of this sort of light staining and gives you a nice kind of dark finish. It does really rejuvenate the look of the hood. It'd probably be a good product to apply if you was going to actually trade in or sell your car, because it certainly would make it look nicer. So there we go, that's about it, job done. That took about 20 minutes to half an hour. Now what's important with Fab Seal is you must let it completely dry before you allow it to get wet. So if you're doing this on a colder day, that can take up to 24 hours, so just bear that in mind. If you do this regularly, you can add years to the life of your hood. Well, I hope this information is helpful to you, and I'd just like to say, as always, thanks for watching.